Welcome back to Waters on Main Street. This week we're going to go over day one of our latest Walt Disney World vacation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the magic.
It's Waters on Main Street!
Welcome back to Waters on Main Street. We just got back from our Disney World spring break vacation. I can't believe it is over.
Oh man, I know. I wish we still there.
It went by in a blink of an eye, guys. Well, the next few weeks, we will be going over each day of our trip. Today will be day one, which is packing, travel, and Animal Kingdom. All right, let's start with packing. So, packing 101, don't wait till the last minute to pack. It is very stressful, and that is what I did this time. I was trying to get some to-do list items completed before we left, and for some reason I thought saving packing to be the very last thing I did was a good idea. It definitely was not. So be more like my mom, who always packs a few months in advance. And if you don't want to do a few months, a few weeks, a few days is better, just not the last minute. But if you are planning a trip around this time of year, which we are in the spring, pack in layers. So bring jackets, pants, leggings, long shirts. Just know that Florida weather has a mind of its own. So this time of year, mornings can be cold, but in just a few hours, we'll be in the 70s or 80s. So you want to make sure you have shorts and t-shirts to wear underneath your pants and long sleeve shirts or jackets. So that way you will be able to easily change while at the parks. Also, Florida loves to have random showers. So make sure you pack reusable ponchos or rain jackets or even an umbrella. Yes, you can bring a foldable umbrella to the parks for the rain or to just keep the sun off you. Speaking of rain, if you are bringing a stroller, try to buy a rain cover for your stroller. So that way, when you are on a ride and your stroller is outside in the rain, your little one won't have a wet seat to sit in. Also, you want to bring a double USB charger for your Magic Bands to charge when you're back into your room. And I say a double USB charger because there's some resorts are very limited to their outlets they have per room. So if you're like us who has a family of 5, you don't really have access to 5 outlets for each Magic Band, and then cell phones and other items you need to charge. Which, bringing up chargers, a backup phone battery charger is also a good idea to bring if you're anything like me who loves to take photos and videos while at the parks. You'll be able to have that backup battery to charge your phones. All right, so now let's talk travel. When traveling, again, check the weather. You want to make sure you are being safe while driving or anticipate any delays or canceled flights. This trip, we had a horrible system that came through our area the day before we planned to leave. We checked when the system would hit Tallahassee, so instead of leaving on Sunday at 2 a.m., we decided to leave at 4 a.m., hoping we stayed behind the storm. But on Saturday, we did not receive any bad weather, just strong winds. We thought we could leave at 3 a.m. and still miss the storm going to Tallahassee. We left at 3 a.m. and what happened, honey?
When we got to Tallahassee, it was pouring down rain. And for me to think, oh, yeah, we could do it, I ended up driving the whole way.
Yes, the storm consisted of strong winds, heavy rains, lightning, hail, and possible tornadoes. We contemplated several times to pull over because we couldn't see the road. And what were you going, 45 miles an hour down the interstate?
Yes, we went from doing the speed limit down the interstate to doing about 30 to 40 miles an hour.
But after arriving in Tallahassee, we checked the radar and we were almost out of the storm. If we made it to Monticello, Florida, we would finally be in front of the storm. So we decided to keep driving. And we made it to Monticello and was in front of the storm. It was just such a crazy experience to drive through that type of weather.
And a storm like that at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 6 o'clock, right?
It was about like 5.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think anybody
The
can prepare
visibility was
themselves for
bad.
that.
Everybody was going slow. Traffic was slow. It just wasn't a fun experience.
So once we made it in front of the storm, we were on our way to our first stop at the Busy Bee at exit 283. But because I'm one of those people that just want to make sure we are in the clear, I just kept checking the radar. And Chase asked, "Hey, is this our exit?" And of course, I was like, "It couldn't be. That was too quick." And yet it was. So we passed by Busy Bee's exit.
And me being me, played it cool. And I was like, we got 1 more mile. We got a rest area. And Kathleen being a little skeptical about where she has to go use the bathroom. We were fortunate enough to find out that it was a very nice rest area after the Busy Bee.
Hey now, don't poke fun at me. If you ever have been at the Busy Bee, you will understand why I love their restrooms. I mean, they even have a sign that says, if you need a clean place to pee, go to the Busy Bee. So, I mean, that's my place. But you're right. The Suwannee County rest area was fantastic. It was very clean, very nice little area. The kids were able to walk around and stretch their legs. But yeah, you're right. It was a very nice rest area. So if you're ever like us who miss the Busy Bee at exit 283, the Suwannee County rest area is your next best place to go. But once we finished at the rest area, it did start to sprinkle, and both Jason and I were like, "Hurry up, get in the car. We got to go. We got to stay in front of this system." So we kept going, and we turned onto Lake City, and that's I-75, right?
Yeah.
So we turned on I-75, headed our way to Gainesville, kept going, went on to the Florida Turnpike, and that's when Ryder was not having the car anymore. So luckily on the Florida Turnpike, there is a gas station that you are easily able to access, and we were able to stop and let Ryder out for a little bit, so we all were able to get some fresh air, stretch our legs before we finished the rest of the drive, which was when we finally saw the Walt Disney World sign. Oh, that was amazing. I don't care how long of a trip you have. The moment you see that welcome sign, it's like just a sigh of relief. We are here. The magic is beginning.
Where have you been all my life feeling?
Exactly. Amazing.
For a driver, it's thank God I could get out.
So, once we went under the sign, we made our way to Beach Club Resort. And unfortunately, our room was not yet ready. But usually the rooms, they say, are ready about 4 p.m. So we jumped onto my favorite form of transportation, which is the Disney bus, and headed to Animal Kingdom. When we arrived at Animal Kingdom, we decided to have lunch at Flame Tree Barbecue. So we jumped onto our My Disney Experience app and mobile ordered. This restaurant has ribs, pulled pork, chicken, and of course my absolute favorite, the mac and cheese with pulled pork and coleslaw on top. We also ran into Kevin from the movie Up, where she came and set up right across from Flame Tree Barbecue and was taking pictures with children, adults, everybody actually. But it was so cool because this is a huge character, like a huge bird, and she was like
Who knew that?
bending over, opening and closing her mouth. It was so like lifelike. Once our food was ready, we decided to go and have a seat at one of the tables. And if you've ever been to Flame Tree Barbecue, you know that any table you get is going to be an amazing place to sit. But one of our favorites is if you just walk all the way down the path. You get to the end, there'll be some few tables that overlook the water, and you can see Mount Everest in the background.
Yeah, we've been sitting there. We've been sitting there probably the last 4 or 5 years when we do go eat there. It never
Yes.
gets old.
Oh, never. It's so beautiful, and I just love I don't know, it just, you feel like you're in a different country. You just don't feel like you're in Animal Kingdom at a park. You literally feel like you are somewhere else. But as you sit and enjoy your food, just know wildlife does appear and try to entice you. So do not feed the birds. They will beg for your food. So just leave them alone. They will eventually walk on. But after lunch, we went to Dino Land to ride Dinosaur before it closes to become Indiana Jones. They have already started construction on Dino Land for the new Tropical Americas, Pueblo Esperanza. The Dino-Rama area with Triceratops Spin and the carnival games, they're extinct. They have all been removed. Even the big old dino that was at the entrance to Dino Land has been removed. But Boneyard is still open, as well as Restaurantosaurus, Dino Bite Snacks, Trilobites, and of course, Dinosaur. Jace, JJ, and Tate rode Dinosaur for what could be their final time. What did y'all think?
It was like,
I don't know. I've never been one really enthusiastic about the Dino ride, so I could take it or leave it. But I think it'd be cool to see the new Indiana Jones ride to come over there and take its place.
if you like rides that are like very jerky and kind of adrenaline, but not too scary, like Everest, that's a ride you could ride. And I just really like the part where you walk in and you see all the bones and the pictures of the old animals and stuff, and then you get to go into the main room where you see the whole T-Rex in the center, and it's really awesome just to be there and be like, wow, that's so like big.
So, will you guys miss this ride?
Definitely, it was one of my favorites, and
I don't think I will.
So, you are excited for the new Indiana Jones ride to come up.
Yes, I am.
if it's like a roller coaster, kind of like Tron, then I will be excited. But if it's something like just meh, I'll be like, why did they even do this?
So while they rode Dinosaur, Ryder and I checked out the Boneyard. Even though he is still a little too small for it, they had a lot of kids playing in there, so I didn't want to take him out and explore further. So we just kind of walked around the outside. Then we went shopping in the gift shop right outside the dinosaur attraction. It's pretty small, but it does have a lot of cool souvenirs. So once they got off Dinosaur, we walked over to Kilimanjaro Safari. I believe this is the most animals we have ever seen up close for the safari.
Absolutely. From the lions, for once, actually seeing the male lion out on the Pride Rock out there on the safari. I ain't never seen that really.
Well, I mean, we saw giraffes, hippos, elephants, cheetahs, the lions,
Yeah,
flamingos.
we saw what 3 or 4 cheetahs this time. Typically, you only see like one.
Wildebeest, warthogs, crocodiles. I mean, there was just so many animals that were out and walking next to the safari vehicle. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if we could, we probably could have touched the animals. But, of course, you're not allowed to do that. But they were just so close. I mean, we had to stop how many times because animals were in the road and the vehicles couldn't go around them.
What was it? The wildebeest or something
Yeah.
crossing the road.
It was like 2 or 3 times that or a giraffe got in the way, and we could not uh, continue going through the safari.
There was one point where there was a bunch of rhinos, like 2 rhinos were sitting in front of us, and it was pretty cool because we also got to see an extra long look at like the cheetahs.
Oh yes, seeing the cheetahs was pretty neat, even though they just looked like,
Off
you
in the
know,
distance.
yeah, they were off in the distance, but they looked like sweet little kitties that you could just cuddle with, but they would eat you in a hot second. But once we were done with safari, it was time for y'all's flight of passage, single lightning lane. Today we did not purchase the multi lightning lane, so they only got the single lightning lane for flights of passage, and that was just for Jason JJ. Tate is not a big fan of this ride, but he also has seizures, so that's another reason why he doesn't ride. Because at the beginning and the end, it's like a strobe light that flashes because you're being transported into your avatar. And so we kind of just don't want to risk him possibly having a seizure because of the strobe lights. So if you are taking someone who does have epilepsy, you just might want to kind of check this ride out on YouTube to see if it would be something that might affect someone who does have seizures. But we actually forgot about that the first time we took Tate to ride Flights of Passage. Jace, do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Like, we were all on our seat, like our little looks like a little motorcycle, and you're close enough to the person next to you that you can touch them. So the ride started and it started flashing, and both Jason and I just screamed, "Close your eyes!" And we grabbed Tate by the arm. And once it was over, we were like, "Okay, you can open your eyes." But it happened at the beginning and at the end. But I feel like he also doesn't like it because we might have traumatized him when we screamed, "Close your eyes!" So, but yeah, so it's just something you might just want to check out just in case you do have someone who does have epilepsy. But how was the ride for you guys?
It never disappoints, but the slight little bit of a motion sickness. But that's just because you got 3D glasses on. You're suspended in midair, and you just don't expect that kind of maneuvering to happen because you're not really in control. You're just watching it, and you're going along with it.
So Tate Ryder and I went into the attractions gift shop and looked at the banshees that you can purchase that sit on your shoulder, and you have a little like remote to make them move around and open and close their mouth. It was really cool. Two of the cast members were wearing them, and they were letting kids pet them and everything. But Tate, he went right around them and went to the wall of banshees, and he was like, "I want this one. I want that one. I want this one." But we didn't get one, which kind of makes me sad because I really want one. But after they got off the flights of passage, the boys were kind of up in the air on if they wanted to ride Mount Everest. So since we couldn't really get a final yay or nay, we just decided to go back to our resort. We did get a text message saying that our room was ready, so we were like, let's just go ahead and go back to the resort and unpack and get ready for the night. But before we left, I needed to feed Ryder and change his diaper. We went over to the baby care center right outside the Starbucks before entering Africa. This baby care center has 2 rooms for nursing, 1 mom per room. It also has changing tables and even an area for older kids and kind of play while in a cool AC environment. Also, they have baby supplies. So if you have forgotten something or if you ran out, you're able to purchase, such as formula, baby food, regular milk, or even sunscreen. So we took the bus back to Beach Club, unloaded the car, and then went to the resort's marketplace for dinner, where we also purchased our Disney refillable mugs. These mugs you can get soda, hot chocolate, coffee, tea, and get free refills for your entire trip at any of the resort refill stations. We like to get about 3 or 4 refills a day, so you definitely get your money's worth. Once we got our dinner, we took it to our room so we could just eat up there. After dinner, we heard fireworks going off and went onto our balcony, and we were on the 4th floor, so we could see Epcot's fireworks. Now remember, Beach Club Resort is walking distance from Epcot. We had an amazing view of fireworks that night. Also, we could see the Epcot Spaceship Earth Ball light up. It was an awesome way to end day 1. What did you guys think? Did you like how we ended day 1?
Oh, absolutely. The way we ended our first day down there, from traveling to get to Disney to having lunch and doing a little bit of rides, I couldn't drew it up no better. I think it's what we're going to do every time we go down there from now on.
Well, that's it for day 1 of our Disney vacation. Stay tuned for next week as we go over day 2 in Epcot. We hope you have a wonderful week. Be safe, make good choices, and keep spreading the magic. Until next time,
See ya!